What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. All right. Well, today's show, it's a pretty much a surprise. I was invited to do a podcast or a television show, Nashville Entertainment Weekly show out there in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, the big one. And, I started, we did it on Skype and I started recording just because I have the recording software. So I recorded, and they gave me permission to put it out as a podcast on What Makes You Famous. And I definitely want to invite you right here off the top to head over to Nashville Entertainment Weekly and just look for all their pages. I mean, there's one big page, has about 10,000 view. At the time of this recording, there's about 10,000 people that are following that. But then there's other ones that they, the PR, they do so much. And I get to talk to TJ Cates and Jill Santibanez. And I'm excited that you're going to get to hear a little bit about them right here on the What Makes You Famous podcast. All right, let's get to them now. Skyping Nashville Entertainment Weekly now.
There we go.
Hey,
Yay.
there he is.
Yeah, we're back.
He flipped it. He flipped it for real. That's a line from The Usual Suspects, in case you didn't catch it.
I think I saw that one like a time ago.
What is it?
Usual Suspects. Kevin Spacey.
There's some feedback.
Well, Benicio del Toro was in that, and he was talking with a real mumble, and he said, I flipped it for real. Flip it. Yeah.
He's great. I haven't seen him in anything lately.
There's feedback coming. Is it coming from your end?
I wouldn't suspect so. It sounds like I feel the room. I hear the whole room.
Our whole room?
Yeah. Let me. If I turn my mic down, I still hear the room.
Well, I've got this amped up. Reach for and turn it off.
Turn it off. Okay.
It's on the back. On the back.
Oh, on the back.
One little switch on the back.
Oh. Okay.
What do you think now? Does that seem better?
Like if I was at an eye exam, better or worse? Same.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, now I echo. That's good.
I'm
Okay.
going to turn it back. I'll make sure you can hear it's okay.
Oh.
Well, all right. You seem so far away. My camera is like right up on my face.
Well, we were doing it, her camera and my camera, and we were doing it. I was in here and Jill was outside.
Mhm.
And then it got real boxy on everybody, so we started with the split screen. So some people like this format. We miss our studio.
Okay, so you had to set something up makeshift in your living room or something like that. One of the rooms.
We're used to everybody being here together.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, well, if you tighten up the shot, I won't see the other side of the brick. The faux brick will really tighten up.
Using a device that could record or broadcast this call. Okay.
It's kind of a toss up.
It's going to crop it.
Okay.
It's going from like here to here. That's what you're going to see on film.
Okay.
And TJ doesn't do this live. He's going to go back and make sure.
I don't do it live.
He's going to edit it.
Yeah, I don't like to edit that much, but I still record them and then I'll put them out like an hour after. So it's a real light dusting of editing. Maybe take the breaths out.
Awesome. Okay, let's roll. Let's see what we do. You ready?
Do you want to wait? Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I want to make sure that he wasn't paused for a second.
I don't think he's paused.
Yeah. He's moving now.
I'll give you the Stevie Wonder.
I don't know if I should be laughing at that.
Hey, everybody, this is TJ Cates with Nashville Entertainment Weekly. I'm in the studio with
Jill Santibanez, and look who we have today.
Keys Dan in the house. How are you?
Keys Dan, Arkansas, man. How's it going in Arkansas?
Well, originally from Miami, Florida, the Florida Keys, which is where Keys Dan comes from. This way, I can nip that right in the bud right away because a lot of people go, Keys Dan, what, piano? Do you make keys? In fact, I've rolled up on various events. One wedding in particular, 6 months ago, I have my van decked out with keysdan.com, and I backed up into the event and ready to unload my equipment. And somebody said, "Did somebody lock their keys in the car? Do we need a key?"
Okay.
That happened.
And you're also a DJ for events, right?
That is correct. That is correct. I'm adding to my repertoire daily. It seems like I find something new to do. Yesterday, I made a new Facebook page for Keys Dan Gaming. Now I'm online streaming games. I played Galaga last night. I played Warzone, Call of Duty.
Galaga's my number one, man. Galaga's my number one.
That's my go-to. If I only have 15 minutes to play before bed, I will strap on the Galaga, play a round or two. Because that's the quickest thing to load up. Now, if I want to play one of these extensive video games like Valorant or Call of Duty or one of the more popular ones that are really, it seems like, I don't like to be clickbaity, but they say play these games because they're the ones that are going to get you the most followers. And but I play the Call of Duty, and yeah, believe the hype. It's a good game. I played the Fortnite. I died very quickly. So yeah, gaming, that's one thing. But the
Galaga, man, Galaga.
That is definitely the one that
think that's the last one I stopped. I think I stopped at Galaga.
Yeah, I had an Atari. I had an Atari 2600 growing up. I wasted whole Saturdays playing Galaga, Defender, Pac-Man, maybe.
Yeah, I like Pitfall. I'm talking about
Pitfall,
like the games is what I remember. I don't remember the Atari doing that as much. We would actually go to the guitar. We would go. My dad had a store and he had rolls of quarters in the safe. He didn't watch Facebook, and I would just grab rolls of quarters out of the safe whenever I would go because we had a grocery store. And man, I would be the king. I would sit there and play all night long. Hey, what part of the Keys are you from?
Well, I was born in Miami. Okay, this is all hearsay because I was born as a small baby. I don't remember a lot. I remember I was looking over my notes, my diary from when I was a baby, and it said day 1, still tired from the move. Day 2, everybody talks to me like I'm an idiot. Gaga, goo goo. What does it all mean? No, but I've been told I was born in Miami and I was raised there for quite a bit of time. And then I moved to Fort Lauderdale, graduated high school there in Fort Lauderdale and college in Fort Lauderdale. And then quickly, 1988, 89, I think must have been 88, I slipped down to the Florida Keys, Key Largo, because that's where my grandmother was. And I said, well, I'm going to go move down to the Keys. And ever since 1988, it's just the Keys Dan name stuck to me. Before that, when I was on the radio in 86, it was Dancing Danny G. So I kind of transitioned from Dancing Danny G to Keys Dan on my way from Fort Lauderdale through Miami.
You were in the big props and the big Miami Vice craze.
Oh, for sure, Miami Vice. Crockett and Tubbs, and the alligator Elvis. You have to know Elvis. Now,
we've been to Key West when I was 17 years old. Jill thinks I have this charmed life. My dad was coming off a cruise with my uncle, who was the mayor, and his brother, and then they came off a cruise in Miami. My mom and I flew to Miami. We rented a car, drove to Key West for a week. I got bored. I was 17, 18. I wanted to go back home and hang out with my friends. My dad put me on a puddle jumper from Key West up to Miami, and then I flew back to Memphis, Elvistown, like you're talking about. Yeah, the Keys are great. I've been to the Keys 3 times. We saw the Barrel that's in Key West, and we have Liza Jane Katana, Robert Katana. We have really good friends down there that are in Key West.
Yeah, shout out to our friends.
My son actually grew up and went to FAU and graduated FAU down in Boca Raton, Florida. So that's down in your stomping ground, Deerfield Beach, and all that. So I've swam in those waters before. I've had a good time in South Florida. It's a totally different world down there. It's tropical.
Yeah, my mama graduated from FAU, magna cum laude,
Right.
nursing, fantastic.
Wow.
My mother,
See,
my mother, she started going to school after the kids went out of the house. While we were growing up, she was sometimes a single mom, sometimes married, but all the time working at jobs that she wasn't really passionate about. I think the last job she had was at an airlines. I don't want to say the name of the airlines because when I had her on the podcast, she said no brand names and no last name, no brand names. And I went, okay, that's a good rule to live by. But she was working for an airlines and she didn't like it so much. But as soon as we got out of the house, she went back to school to my stepdad's dismay, and she ended up going to nursing, got her LPN, got her RN, got her BSN, got her and then got her doctorate of nursing. Ended up being a teacher of nursing. So yes, if there's a work ethic to be had, something to learn from my mother, that was it. Is whatever you do, strive to be the best at it.
that's sweet. So what brought you to Arkansas?
I married a hillbilly. No, I was in the Florida Keys, and my wife, her dad was a Benton cop, and then before he retired, he said Benton, Arkansas, and then he said before I retire, I want to go and live near the ocean. Well, he ended up getting a job in Monroe County in the Florida Keys as a sheriff, which kind of runs the police department down the Florida Keys. And then she was young enough; she went with them, mom and dad. And I saw her. I was at a dance club, and here I see this pretty girl dancing at the Coconuts Club there in Key Largo, and I fell for her straight away. I mean, for sure. I knew that was going to be the next big thing. I didn't know how big it was, but just a few short years later, we got married there in the Florida Keys, and then her father and mother retired, and then ended up moving back to the Conway, Arkansas area, and she got to missing her mom and the radio station I was working at. I was doing the morning show on a bilingual radio station down there, and it went full Spanish. And I know enough Spanish to speak half, like bilingual. But if I have to think, in full Spanish, I have to think in English, translate it to Spanish, talk it in Spanish. When it comes back, so I was done with that radio station. She said, "Well, we don't have much going on here. Why don't you start your life over at 40 years old?" Okay, I'll do that for you because I love you, honey.
Oh, that's nice.
And in Conway, Benton, Arkansas is where Walmart's headquarters are, and the University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks. And Benton, Arkansas is beautiful, man.
Yep, you're talking about Bentonville, which is
Bentonville, Arkansas.
which is
Benton is on what, 30 going south? There you go. Okay, Benton. We had a house at Lake Hamilton. We would go Mountain Road, and we had a house at Oaklawn, and it was at Lake Hamilton. And we spent some time. Bentonville, Benton. I thought it was okay. I know what I'm talking about. I know Conway because my uncle Jack, who's probably watching this, he just turned 84, and he's my uncle and retired Air Force for years and years. But he says he watches our shows. So Uncle Jack, if you're watching this, his real name is Prosper, but we goes by Jack. And one of my cousins, the one who lived in Oklahoma or Texas or something, he said, I just can't tell the difference between Jack and Prosper. He thought they were twins. He never knew two names. That's the whole thing. Anyway, hi, Uncle Jack, if you're watching. Yeah. This is great. Well, let's talk about.
I want to talk about your radio station. So your radio station now, it's called Radio What, and how did that name come about?
Well, it's sitting right behind me, and once again, I have to thank my wife on that one. But we were setting up the network. Previous to that, I had a radio station called Radio Keys Dan. This is after I left Exito 105.5 down in Miami. I started an online radio station. This is probably about 2006, 2007. I started doing an online radio station, getting some of the local artists, some of the people that were building up their resumes.
You're probably one of the first.
Oh my goodness, it was a lot of fun. If you're working for someone, and I've worked for mom and pops, where it was one radio station, one terrestrial station alone, And then I've worked for the large corporations. It's much better to work for the smaller mom and pops. You have more creative license. When you work for the large corporations, some of their headquarters might be way far away from your local listeners. So they'll be programming stuff, music that won't be, it won't be good for the people that are in your area. Maybe
100%.
maybe the people in the Northwest don't like the same thing in the Southeast or in the southern states. So working for the mom and pop, which was Exito 105.5. I appreciate all the time that I had there. And then I started my own station, Radio Keys Dan, and I started having people do voice tracks, different artists that I would meet up on the red carpet down in Miami at various events. I would say, hey, could you give a shout out to Radio Keys Dan? So some of those I have reworked them to where it'll say I'm listening to Keys Dan on radiowhat.com. And then my wife, when we were setting up the network, when we moved into Conway, I said, hey, what should we name the network? And she said, what? And there was another reason that I named it Radio What as well. When I was on the same red carpets, when I would say, hey, would you say your name, where you're from, and you're listening to Exito 105.5? And I would get things like, hey, this is Enrique Iglesias, and I'm listening to what? What am I listening to? And they'd forget the name of the station. So I have so many recordings of people flippantly saying what. So then I retooled it for Radio What.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
What's he doing right now?
Yeah, so we wanted to thank you so much for our artists doing takeovers. Pretty much all of our artists. We're waiting to hear back from a couple of them, but doing takeovers, Facebook Live takeovers on your Radio What page, and these are so great for them because of COVID, a lot of artists can't play on stage or tour right now. So doing the Facebook Live takeovers, they can still talk to their audience. They can put up their PayPal or Venmo, which thank you so much for allowing them to do that. So they can get tips because a lot of artists, that's kind of like it's like selling a ticket to the show. So that's how they're making their money back from recording their music and putting their music out there digitally. And so thank you so much for doing that. Thanks, for our artists.
Oh, with this quarantine, the creatives have been very creative, have been finding other avenues to get their juices flowing. And this Facebook takeover thing, Jennifer Malott was the one that turned me on to it, and she's great. She is wonderful. And from what I've seen, when I follow her on her page, she's taken over all kinds of stations. So for any of the creatives that are out there, and I encourage you to have them contact, a radio station or contact you over at Nashville Weekly and
NashvilleEntertainmentWeekly.com, NashvilleEntertainmentWeekly.com.
Absolutely.
I forgot my cue card, man. Just call us.
Well, what's funny is I went ahead and I put you in my broadcast software. And, it's not like I can do anything with it because this is your show. I'm not going to put it out on my show, but
hey, no, cross promote.
Well, I have you on the What Makes You Famous podcast. You're right there next to me on the software. So, and then underneath your name is Nashville Entertainment Weekly. So I don't forget who you are. But there's it's nice that I found you or you found me, that we found each other.
Man.
Yeah, and
we found each other.
And for those people that have a Facebook page that has any kind of following, you can give the editor rights to an artist and they can go live on your page. Now, the advantage to this is that they get new followers. They get, for example, I have over 3,000 people on the Radio What page. They get potentially 3,000 new people listening to their songs, and then I get content for my page. So it's mutually beneficial. But the whole reason that I got into radio was to build people up, was to promote people. You don't make a lot of money in radio. The handful of people that are making millions, you can count them on maybe one, maybe two hands that make millions. Everybody else makes, the minimum wage. The advantage of being on the radio is you get to meet people in the community. the money that you make is the notoriety. When I was on the radio, people would hear my voice and then they would say, "Ooh, I want him at my event." That's where you make the money.
Wonderful.
Is the
We have a
promotional.
good friend, Chris Burks, that's also a DJ, and he does a morning show. I bet y'all crossed paths before. We're from the same hometown, just south of Memphis, and he's down in Vicksburg, Mississippi, making a killing from DJing. Plus, he hosts a weekly show at the casinos, and he's a hustler, man. And when you're in radio, some people just go there, they do the radio thing, and they go home, and that's insane. What you're doing is smart. Yeah, we're not able to get out and go to our studio. We're not able to go interview on the red carpet, go to the film premieres or anything, but we did. We're like you 4 months ago, we saw a change, and you've been in this long enough, and we've been in long enough. Okay, we're fixing to have to adapt. We're going to overcome. We're going to do better. And we're better off now than we were a year ago, man.
No, it was a lot different. In 1986, when I started, I would do my show, and then I would get out. I would get off the air, and that was the end of it. And then later, as things progressed, if I was working for a bigger radio station, they had a sales staff that would sell the ads, and that's how radio stations make money, boys and girls. That's how television stations make money. It's through advertisements. So they would sell the ads. Now, when I was working for the mom and pop, I would do my 4-hour morning show from 6 to 10 or 5:30 to 9:30, and then I would go out and sell my show. So I was going off and having lunch with potential clients, making some money for the, so you have to hustle. And then, for the DJ stuff, I used to just be the guy playing on the turntables. And then I was the guy that got on the microphone. Now I'm the guy who has to make the website, make the flyers, promote the event, make sure that everything, it's pretty much a one-man job. I mean, my wife, thankfully, she knows how to design things. She designed the logo for Radio What, which is great. And, she's very meticulous. She goes, "Oh, I want to design this." And she went, "Oh, no, I got to cut that line." So it's good to have a team. What's that?
Where's she at right now?
Oh, she is in the other room, probably listening to me butter her bread.
Say hi. I'd like to know what's going on with the family.
Shout out to her.
Will she pop in and say hi?
Oh, she won't pop in and say hi. She's a behind the scenes person. And
We
funny,
like to do that.
people ask me, "Are you really married?" Because we've never met your wife. Occasionally,
She's got a whole picture like George Costanza. No, this is who I'm married to. She's better than me.
no, yeah, occasionally they'll see us at the grocery store and say, "Oh, you really are married." But she'll never go to an event of mine. She'll, she's a behind the scenes person. She's she takes care of our 14-year-old. In fact, she homeschools. The 14-year-old's been homeschooled since birth, and she is all the much better for it, for sure. That kid is so talented. So, I appreciate her to no end. What's that?
Be sure and tell people the best way, like if they're watching right now, the best way to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Where do you like to be contacted at?
Oh, well, 501-470-6386. Easiest pie. But, djlittlerock.com or radiowhat.com. Those are the two websites.
Perfect.
And you'll find everything there. And, the various social media. I think I've branded Keys Dan well enough to where, okay, Keys Dan is the way to go. Now, I do have a question for you guys, and I want, now that all of your artists are taking over my station, and I appreciate it so much. I watch their shows. They work so hard, and I wish I had, hundreds of dollars to give them on their Venmos and their PayPals. But I mean, what I can give as a
You're giving them a lot.
is the airtime, But people you can't live on airtime. They live on dough, money.
They can't reach people without you doing that. They're going to reach your reach group, and that's a huge value, man. So we appreciate it.
It really
Trust me,
is.
I know all the work you're doing, and I appreciate it. If you weren't doing all the work, they wouldn't have this platform to go up there and do a takeover. And hopefully they can cross promote your station with their fans. We hope that it's all crossing over.
Well, really, like I say, it's not about me. That's really the one thing I want to do is I want to invite them to all come on the What Makes You Famous podcast, hashtag What Makes You Famous. And I want to interview them and really give them some time. This is a show that the podcast itself is not a show for people to come and play music. Some people have asked, "Do you want me to play a song for you?" No, it's to get in deep with the people, get an idea of how they became who they are. I want to know who the artists are, because when I was doing radio, most of the time all I got was 15, 20 minutes. Where's the show?
Right.
How do they get to the show? See you later. That was it. And I got to interview so many famous people sitting across from me, almost like you are with me virtually. And I never really got to know them. But with this podcast thing, you get, a good hour,
slow it down a little bit.
and take
And
some
people
time.
are walking around the block, they're at work, they're going to listen for an hour. That's a big difference.
And you do a great job of talking. That's so important in a podcast.
Well, you messed up. You have me on your show, and I have this microphone in front of me, and all I want to do is know about you and talk about you. People hardly ever ask about me, but I got TJ Cates and Jill Santibanez. I knew I was going to mess it up at least one time.
No, you did.
You did a really good job.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Believe it. I was watching some of your videos on your.
Are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Froze up.
Do we freeze a little bit?
I think he froze a little bit. So yeah, it's funny how everybody.
Oh, there we go.
Everybody pronounces your name. I learned to say it, but I learned to say Cynthia. I come from Mississippi. We spell it like it reads. I mean, say it like it sounds. So Santibanez.
There you go.
Yeah. She said Santibanez or something like that.
Santibanez. But it's Santibanez. I can say it like a Caucasian because.
Okay. Well, I'm half Cuban and half Irish. So is there some Spanish, some Latin in your blood somewhere?
I'm half Spanish and half Irish.
How about that? Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah. A little bit. Un poquito, but not enough I understand it more than I speak it.
All right. Don't lose your Spanish. I've gotten so many jobs, and this is for the kids out there listening. I've gotten so many jobs that I'm not qualified for because I speak Spanish,
Yeah.
So TJ Cates, you come from Mississippi, and then you're in Tennessee. That's the same path that a famous king of rock and roll took. Okay.
I love that.
Okay, Elvis, love him or hate him?
Me? Love him.
On
my wall, I actually have autographed. I have so much Elvis stuff. From my first acting teacher was Red West, which was his bodyguard buddy from high school. George Klein, which is a good friend of mine, on my wall is autographed, and I've got a picture from George Klein. When I went by his house, he just passed 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. When I went by his house about 5 years ago, he gave me a Polaroid picture of he and Elvis, and at his wedding. Memphis is really a great. Jerry Lee Lewis is his wife, really good friend of my parents. It's really so connected around that area from everybody that grew up together. Mom was talking yesterday. We had horses, and our horses would be. We got them shoed by the same person that Elvis did, and we would ride by and he and all the guys would ride golf carts and go-karts around the big circle in front of Graceland. It was the 60s and 70s, man. It was a great time to be alive, and Elvis did so many good things. He would drive up and down what's now Elvis Presley Boulevard, and he would go to the car lots, and if he saw a family in there working out finances, he said, I got that one, I got that one, I got that one. He would just send me the bill, and he would buy cars. He was just the most amazing human being, and we lost him, so soon. But no, Elvis did. From Tupelo. I was born in the same hospital. I was born in Memphis, and then I was raised in North Mississippi after I was about 10 years old, and then I moved to Nashville 6 years ago. And that's actually, I met Jill the first year that I was here. We started working together, and our work ethic is nonstop, 7 days a week. And so it all kind of happened.
He actually gets me to slow down, which is great. He's like, you need to spend time with me.
I have to slow down. We're talking, man. I can't understand these words she says.
And the talking tarot.
She talks so fast.
Yes.
I work fast. I was raised in the grocery meat business. Mm-hmm. I work really fast, and Jill's tedious, and probably like you and your wife. You move really fast, and you get it in there. You get the job done. I like to get it done like that because I love outside. So Conway, Arkansas, how are things going over in Arkansas? Are we really good?
Oh man, there was never any COVID. Like we closed. Really? No,
I never hear about Arkansas.
No, I'm
besides the rule that you can't. I had Mark Grisham, which is a friend of mine. I went to school with John and Mark Grisham, and Mark and I talk every single day for about an hour and a half because we grew up together. We went to the same places since kids, and it's good to be up here. And he lives in East Tennessee. To have somebody to talk to bring that.
Mark's also an author,
But he came he goes trout fishing up at Heber and maybe the Buffalo River, the Real Red. Anyway, he goes up every year for a float trip, and he stopped to go stay at the hotel that he stays at every year. And they said, you can't stay here because you're from outside of Arkansas. And he said, where can I go? And they said, you sleep in the truck it's against the law. So have they changed that in Arkansas? Were you from out of state?
I wouldn't know.
That's funny.
It's been a couple months, 2 or 3 months.
Oh,
we have an artist shooting a music video tomorrow for Carmen Mills, and she's driving down from Indianapolis, Indiana tonight. I just got a hotel room for her husband. She and her husband in Kentucky, but I had to talk to Steve Cummings, who runs a big business in Kentucky, because it was kind of messed up. I said, I got my hotel in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we really have to, after we do our normal job, it's like, wait a minute, let me check and make sure it's okay for you to go to Kentucky, because I'm going to shoot a music video for them tomorrow. And with the COVID, we have to make sure we're in an open air area. We can't have other people around, because she can't wear a mask while she's playing her
not during a music video.
So it's we've had to rethink everything, and we're so used to clicking and making a decision. But wait, we got the COVID.
Yeah.
So we've got to go back, and then we have to think about, is there anything that's going to affect it?
Yeah, it's tricky. I'm talking to actors out in California, and they're having to shoot the singles whenever they're doing movies or television. They have to shoot the singles, and then they try to, the editor is really working overtime for movies,
right.
And even for music as well, because you have all the musicians are playing their instruments solo, and then the editor, the producer, is putting it all together. They got their job cut out for them. And I'm glad that you've been given a lot of credit where credit is due. Every time you talk about somebody, you give them a shout out. Whenever I do one of the podcasts and somebody says, oh, my piano teacher, what was her name? Oh, my guitar teacher, what was the name? You got to give credit where credit is due. And this way, those people, if they're still doing the job, maybe they'll get some new students as well, and that's you want it all comes together, and the networking that you're providing over at Nashville Entertainment Weekly is invaluable. These kids some of them are just starting out, some of them are restarting their careers. Maybe they had a family and they had to put the career on hold for a little bit, and now their families have been grown, and they say, well, I want to get back into that music thing. Well, they contact you over at Nashville Entertainment Weekly, and you put them together with the right people, including myself over at Radio What, but also other radio stations that have Facebook pages and maybe have, my online station is sitting, the interface is right here behind me. So if somebody sends me their MP3, I attach their Twitter to it, throw it right up on the radio station. Every time it plays, it'll tweet them, and this way they'll have a little record, and then they'll have something extra to tweet, something else to promote, because creators, there's only so much.
I was hosting, for a studio, and that they weren't getting very many views because they were not tagging the artist page, but their website. And we try to do that with everybody on our page. We want to make sure it benefits them because their time is valuable, And I do think it's important to mention everybody. Everybody's got a purpose. We're all going through a tough time, but we're actually, like I said, better off than we were last year. If you drive down Music Road, which I will tomorrow, everything's closed. They have a big majority of their employees are interns. Well, Belmont College or University and Vanderbilt's gone. The students are gone. Their interns are gone. But Jill and I went to work the next day. We talked that very first week, and I say it every time we talk. I said, something's going on. We got to reinvent. We got to change everything what we're doing. Even during the lockdown, we started doing Skype interviews. Everybody else was making shell shock.
I'm so glad.
What do we do? Like, Data ordered a new laptop, which we're not actually using now. Because I'll send you a picture of what I'm setting up for tomorrow to film.
You got a new phone.
What we're filming on right now is lights and cameras, a Rode mic and everything. But we had to reinvent. It's like if you can find a niche and you can fill it, and it took a couple months for it to catch on, and now it's like we're almost getting more people than we can listen to, but we want to make sure that we respond to 100% of the people, the serious people. Some people send in silly things, but we want to be there to help people. Like you said, they're either starting out or they're restarting, and the radio is 24/7. And I was thinking, well, that's 24/7. Everything else is dead. Plus, we have two 2 30-minute shows, all new programming every single Sunday. We have a Nashville Real Estate TV that airs on the CW network, goes out to 1 million viewers all across 40 Middle Tennessee counties. At 7 o'clock every Sunday night, I just sent off a show today. We have an all-new 30-minute show, 20.5 minutes show of Nashville Entertainment Weekly. We're going to put you on our show next week. So you're going to go out to 500,000 people in Nashville. People learn about you because we try to cross-promote. Every once in a while, we get an artist that just they think that they're big and they're not. And we kind of, we help them out a little bit. But, dude, we'll just keep sharing it on television. We'll keep sharing it. We have 54 Facebook pages, multiple Instagram, multiple Twitter. Jill handles all that. So we're trying to help everybody out. We want to be part of their success story.
And then, of course, for people that are on your show, I always, at least like 20 times, I share their Facebook Live. Because I really think, and I'm sure you've seen that, you're like, oh my gosh, she's sharing it so much. Because I really think that it's endless. All the shares are endless. The viewers are endless on Facebook. It's wonderful that you're doing what you're doing because it's so easily shareable.
Absolutely. I mean, I share it on my Twitter, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, of course. And then every time I do one of these podcasts, which is daily, I'll give a mention on what's happening this week. And I know that you're doing some takeovers coming up real soon. And I'll try to take a look at the events that you've created. I mean, I hardly knew you, and I've given you administrative rights because
Thank you so much.
You're a trustworthy person.
He's very honest.
Absolutely. I have that feeling, that inkling from both of you as well. Now, from what I'm understanding, TJ Cates, you also sell real estate, or do you both?
I've been a realtor and a home builder, mortgage broker for years. I started that in the 90s, and I was a home builder. And I started being a realtor, and then I went to go work for some home builders. They hired me. I was really good at first-time closings. And then I wanted to know how to build a house. So I started walking with my superintendents, which actually got me more sales because I'm out in the neighborhoods, and nobody came to the model. They would be out there looking at houses. So I'm just like, I took my jacket off, just kind of, hey, I got a key, man. We'll go look at it. And then I learned how to build a house. And then I started building houses, and I learned that land is where the money is. So when I finally finished around 2006, 2008, I was buying land and building the houses and doing the mortgage on them, man. It was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. But we're doing that now. I came to Nashville, and I was a filmmaker, and I started interviewing these people, and I was like, well, I need to get better at editing. I need to get a better reach group. So I was like, well, I taped your song up on the stage. Would you like to come out and tell me about it? I never heard about singer-songwriter nights. I didn't know stories really had a story behind them. Songs did. So then they wanted to do that. Well, then I noticed I started getting views, and then I started getting things to go to the red carpet. And everybody wants to get interviewed. Well, what we do at the red carpet is most people go at 5:30. They set up on the red carpet, and they turn it over to an editor like you and I. We do it ourselves. And Jill and I leave 6:45. Everybody's going in to see the movie. We jump home. We get all our edits together. Before they come out of the movie, we've already got their interview and their movie trailer on there. And then we've already got more content. When you Google just Google it sometime. Nashville Film Festival, NS, #NSF or something. It's all us because we're the only ones. They came out last year and they hired a big PR firm. They don't want anybody to do interviews with them. No content. You had people from around the world coming and showing their films. Nobody did it. But if you ever Google it for the past 5-6 years, it's nothing but us. We got everybody, man. We got Steven Tyler. We got Kathy Lee Gifford. We got Josh. We got everybody you can imagine. Mac Davis, I recognize people because I worked for TMZ when I moved here. And I'm really good at it. They gave me a test. I had to pick people out. So I like to pick people like Josh Turner came with nobody was going to interview him, but he was there. And I said, Josh, you want to talk? Yeah, I'll talk. I got a new album out. That'd be great. And then Mac Davis, huge songwriter for Elvis, he's over there, and he came in. He was going to a documentary of It's All About a Song. And I asked him, I said, dude, would you want to talk for a minute? Yeah, that's cool, man. I'll talk. So he comes over. He and my mom are the same age. My mom about Peter Pan's. She's from Arkansas. She's from Jonesboro Railroad Gold. And she came over. So and then the other people were like, well, how did you get that interview? He wasn't on the card. I'm like, I recognized him. I asked him. He's already in the movie. So we work hard, man. And I think that I'm really glad that we connected with you. And I see a big future with all of us because I'm glad to see somebody else out there doing what we're doing. Not that we're doing anywhere near the same product, but you work your butt off, man. And you
started something yourself.
You started it. And you've taken since what? 2006, 2000, no, 90, 86, 88 is when you got into this. Is that right?
86, I started on radio. That's my official. I did my first wedding for $50. So that's when I turned pro. And I rented the equipment for $75 from a local guitar place. So I lost money on that one. But it was totally worth it.
Tattoo right away, so that's really good.
Dude, I bet you do a killer. I bet you do a killer party. What's the number one? Is it still YMCA? What's the number one songs out there? What's the request?
I bend to whoever hires me. I give them a planning form and a music request form, and I bend to them. But yeah, if they ask me for the YMCA, I'm going to be climbing out from behind the DJ booth and doing the YMCA. And I'll be doing the Macarena. I'm out there doing the electric slide. I'll even do it with the Running Man, with the shuffle, as big and as old as I am. I'll be out there shuffling and Running Man and Roger Rabbit and doing the Cabbage Patch. And yeah, I'm 51 years old. I got no problem with that. Now, before I turned 50, I was pretty shy about saying my age. But now, as soon as I turned 50, I likened myself to the character that Molly Shannon did on SNL. I'm 50. Yeah. I can kick and stretch and kick. I'm 50.
I know Molly Shannon. Yeah,
she used to do a skit. She was a 50-year-old. I'm 55, man.
Yeah.
So double nickel. Yeah, it's nothing. 50s are kind of cool. My 30s kind of suck. They're kind of hard. And the 40s were pretty good. But then I really enjoyed every year of my 50s, man. It's been good. You get a little bit of respect when you're over 50, but you're not 70. So we're in a really good window right now. Absolutely. You can sit, people listen to you because you have a history and you have a heck of a resume.
Well, for anybody that's learning things, that's watching this, that's listening to this, I'll put it out as an audio podcast. I'll put it out as a video podcast as well. But for anybody watching, put your fingers in many different pots. You didn't just stop at real estate, which was pretty lucrative. I'm sure if you hustle, you can make a very good living in real estate. No, you had an idea that you wanted to help some celebrities out, or help make people famous, or help people achieve their dreams, follow their goals. And you guys are helping people to achieve their dreams. Some people don't have direction, especially in their 20s. Now, people in their 20s, do whatever you want. You are made of rubber. You still have Wolverine powers. You fall down, you're going to get back up. You cut yourself, you're going to heal so quickly. So fail, do things, fail, learn from those failures, do other things. But
fail often, fail forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. By the time you get to be, old guys like me, and I don't want to say old guys, but hey, we're getting there. Once you get seasoned. Let's put it that way. We're seasoned. We have some.
And I want to talk about, like, because you've been around so many celebrities. Like, who have been like people that you were really excited about? Because I don't even know what's your favorite genre to like interview. Are you like all genres? I haven't even asked you that.
Yeah, when people ask me, "Hey, what kind of music do you play?" I go, "Yes, what kind of music?" Because it's radio. What I play whatever I want, whatever I like. I figure somebody else is going to like it as well. And there's very few songs that people have sent me. I mean, there's a few songs that curse as nasty as you want. And I'll say, I just can't. I really can't. And I take it with Jamaica in their broadcasting system. If you have to make a song with an edit, they won't play it on the radio. You have to make that song, no edits, clean. That's the way you put it out on the radio. I just heard that.
Go to a concert and do it. We've done that before. We've had a couple of people we worked with, and we had to edit a word out of there because she said with that word they're not going to get it played. But it's tough. Man,
I think.
Hey, you know what I think we should do?
Wasn't like that. He was a big songwriter too. Prince for Alicia Keys and a lot of people. And
Prince is my hero, man.
And
I was more of a George Michael guy.
He was all about not swearing because he said, not swearing sells records.
Well, I'm not a guy that's going to diminish anybody's songwriting or hinder anybody's creative outward. Just there's lines that I have to draw, for myself, for my own well-being. When I do shows for kids, sometimes the parents will say, "Oh, you can play whatever you want with whatever words." I know that they're listening to this in their iPods, but it's just not good for their soul. Hey, I'm opinionated. Hey, I have an opinion on something. Yeah, all right.
Oh yeah.
You have to be careful in life for your eyes and your ears, man. What all goes in there is what's going to live. And that's what we try to avoid so much news. We catch up on the news. We take 3 different news things and we fast forward to learn when we need to, and then we jump off. We ought to do something different. I personally think we should do this. You ought to just share this since you're already recording it, and we just share so we can drive more traffic back towards you. Do you want to do that, or do you want us to do it? Have you thought about that?
What do you?
You're recording to share it on your reach group, correct?
Well, I have it there. I automatically hit record whenever I do any phone conversations. I have like so many random recordings.
What do you think?
I want to share it on Nashville
Okay, you want to
Weekly.
share it. I need to share it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. We'll both share it.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, that's fine.
Well,
we want to make sure we're giving back, man.
Oh yeah, I'll put it out on Radio What on the YouTube, and then I'll put it out on the What Makes You Famous podcast feed. If there's anything that you don't like about it, then I will take it right down. No problem.
Everything.
This is your show.
We got to do something in a minute, but I definitely wanted to touch base with you. Man, you're cool. If I ever go back to Arkansas, which I'd love to go back to the races at Oklahoma, hopefully be open this year. We may just take a little past Little Rock, keep going a little on 40, and stop by and see you. I hook up, and I think it'd be a fun day.
Well, you know what's funny is my mom living in Key Largo. She's done with Key Largo. She's moving just south of Nashville. So at some point, maybe even in September, I might be making my way out that way. So,
you have a realtor? I'm just,
Well, she's already got a house, and yes, she should have known you just a few years ago.
It's in my blood, man.
Oh, absolutely. No,
I'm going to go south tomorrow. I love Leaper's Fork. I love Franklin. I go to Franklin at least every week. And south of Nashville is where we are. We've got to be for our business. We're downtown by Belmont, Music Row, Vanderbilt area, and we can be down on Broadway. We go cover the red carpet. I like to take a stick and a live video and put it about 15 feet up and capture everybody getting out of their cars.
A tripod.
We haven't been able to do that in a while, man, because we have to be where we are. But we would like to live south, but it's so much more convenient to be where. Well, man,
there's still traffic here.
Stay in touch. And I know you talked to Jill a lot, but I'm glad you and I connected, man. It's been fun for me.
Man, TJ Cage, Jill Santibanez. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it. Santa Banana. No,
I like that.
Tell me, did you have a nickname growing up, Jill?
You know what? I didn't. No.
All right, it's Santa Banana now, so forever. I christen you. No, please don't. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. No.
Nicole Santibanez. That's her full name.
Santibanez. Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm so glad that you.
Man, I appreciate you like a million times over. It's been so much fun. I hope everybody's still watching, and I hope everybody connects with you. If you want to reach out to us, it's NashvilleEntertainmentWeekly.com. We're Nashville Entertainment Weekly television show. We're Nashville Entertainment Weekly Records, Nashville Entertainment Weekly PR, Public Relations.
Yes, thank you everybody for watching, and also please, Dan, again, let everybody know your website.
It's djlittlerock.com, keysdan.com, radiowhat.com.
And we have a one-click. If you're watching this on social media, there's a one-click below us. You can just click. And if you're watching this on television, look at the banner below you, and you want to go follow him because you can listen from Nashville and you can listen to what he's doing. He's a fun guy. Thanks so much, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm just going to stop recording. Hang tight.
Thank you so much for getting rescheduled with us, Dan. I'm sorry it didn't.
Sorry it didn't work out that night, but I think tonight our mind was a little bit more clear.
Yes, it was a crazy weekend. I'm so
we
sorry.
had a new artist that we signed from Alabama, from Georgia.
Florida.
And man, he's been just blowing up. And then he actually got into the front page of a newspaper when he got back home. He got a Music Row record deal, and then we're helping him get his
with us.
with his website. We're his website up. He got a domain.
Well, there you have it, party people. Nashville Entertainment Weeklies, TJ Cates and Jill Santibanez. I'm so excited that I get to know them a little bit more. And now you get to know them a little bit more. I see nothing but great things happening in the near future. and even in the distant future. My goodness, nothing but good things. They're good people, I tell you. And they've been doing these Facebook takeovers. Their artists have been taking over, well, my Radio What Facebook page, which is kind of cool. They get the artist will get like a little editor privileges to the page, and then they will play some music for you, or tell some jokes or whatever their talent is. Maybe they'll tell you a monologue from Shakespeare, whatever. But lately it's been people playing music, which is great. So great. My goodness. So thank you so much for allowing me to turn this into a What Makes You Famous podcast. TJ Cates and Jill Santibanez, I appreciate you so much. Nashville Entertainment Weekly. Yes, ever forward. Helping people achieve their goals. It's what we do. All right. If you, now I'm turning my attention to you, the listener, would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.